My marriage to Jax was arranged when we were kids. I loved him, but he didn't love me. He had his unforgettable first love. Then, during one of his ruts, he pushed me down. I got pregnant. The doctor said an abortion would be too risky for me, and as time went on, I grew attached to the baby inside me. I was afraid he'd find out, so I skipped town while I was pregnant. Eventually, he found me. He stared at my swollen belly, his eyes filled with rage. Well, Leo, it's only been 3 months, and you're already pregnant with some other guy's kid. I was terrified, unable to look at him. I instinctively covered my stomach in a protective gesture. Jax's brow furrowed, his voice turning colder. You're not keeping this baby. I may not like you, but you're not going to cheat on me and get away with it. His towering 6 feet 4 inches alpha frame filled the entire rusted iron doorway. Behind him stood a line of huge, intimidating bodyguards. My eyes welled up with tears as I clutched my stomach tighter. Please don't hurt the baby. It's innocent. So you can't bear to get rid of some other guy's kid? Jax strode toward me, casting a dark, heavy shadow over my body. His gaze was like a knife, fixed coldly on my belly. He reached out his large hand. Don't! I almost fell to my knees, shrinking back as his hand missed. Tears streamed down my face. Jax, I don't have any family left. Please, just let me have this baby to keep me company. I'll go somewhere far away, change my name, and we can get a divorce. I promise I'll never do anything to hurt the Ryder family's reputation again. I rarely called him Jax, and my voice was practically begging. Jax stared at me in disbelief. His eyes were a mix of anger, shock, and, was that a hint of devastation? I could even move abroad, but I don't have any money. Jax's breathing grew heavy, his chest rising and falling. The veins on his hands bulged. My heart sank. I knew he was angry, really angry. The baby was doomed, and so was I. My foot slipped, and I nearly fell. Suddenly, a strong arm wrapped around my waist. The next moment, I was airborne. He'd lifted me up with one arm. The feeling of weightlessness made me instinctively cling to his neck. Realizing I was sitting in the crook of his strong alpha arm, I let go. But he didn't take me to the hospital. He took me home. I was brought to the Ryder estate after my grandfather passed away. Jax had always been confident and outgoing, the center of attention wherever he went. I was just his little shadow, always trailing behind him. When people around us would tease me about being his future little wife, Jax would get annoyed and chase them off. At 20, he hated the arrangement our families had made. Besides, he always hung out with other alphas and had no interest in playing with a petite omega like me. Stop following me around. I can't stand delicate omegas. I'm not going to marry you. You're just a parasite living off my family. I was 2 years younger than him, and his words made me cry. I won't marry you, I hiccuped. Can I just hang out with you? Please don't make me leave. I just thought that if I could get along with him, I'd be allowed to stay. Hang out? You're so childish. I stopped watching SpongeBob years ago. What do you like to watch, then? I can learn, I said, sniffling. Jax tossed a tissue at me, his face full of disgust. Stop crying. You're a big kid now. Wipe your nose. It's about to drip into your mouth. I obediently wiped my face clean, and only then did Jax let me watch him play video games. I sat beside him, watching in awe. I didn't understand any of it, but I thought he was amazing. Wow, you're so good, big brother. You got another one. Jax snorted proudly. That's nothing. Sometimes, when he got tired of me watching, he'd curse under his breath and shove the controller into my hands. Even though I didn't really want to play, I had said I would learn, and I meant it. Here, you play like this. Ah, you're so clumsy. You just lost all the points I worked so hard to earn. Can I buy another sapphire item? I asked quietly. Fine. Go ahead and buy your useless junk. It looks pretty, but it's worthless. Even though he wasn't affectionate, he never let anyone else bully me. Wasn't that a form of protection in its own way? A secret happiness bloomed in my heart. Did that mean I was special to him? But then one day, I overheard him talking to Julian. Jax, you don't actually like Leo, do you? Are you really protecting him? Jax, holding a pool cue, let out a sneer. as if. He leaned over the table, and with a gentle push, the cue ball glided forward, precisely hitting the red target ball. In the Ryder family, even if we raise a dog, only its master gets to discipline it. The same goes for people. Julian was his unforgettable first love. The whole school whispered that they were perfect for each other. But because of our arranged marriage, Jax couldn't confess his feelings to him. In Jax's room hung a famous painting that Julian had given him for his birthday. The gift I gave him, however, Jax had smashed. It was just something I'd made by hand. Something that took me 3 days but wasn't worth much. He must have despised it. I remember the disgusted look on Jax's face when he received it. You stayed up all night with the lights on to make this piece of junk? It's hideous. Fine, I'll reluctantly accept it. I couldn't play pool, but Julian could. I was from a bankrupt family, a charity case. Julian was his social equal. I was an omega. Julian was a beta. Jax didn't like soft, delicate omegas. He and Julian were the ones who were meant to be. After that, rumors started spreading around school that Jax couldn't stand me. I took the hint and started keeping my distance from him. I put away the feelings I shouldn't have had. I threw myself into my studies, determined to win the top scholarship, and found a part-time job. At the same time, the people who used to bully me started showing their true colors again. They cornered me on my way to work. Well, Leo, what's this? Working a part-time job like one of those scholarship kids? Haha, what do you want? I asked, my hands clenching nervously. The leader of the group looked me over and his eyes narrowed. Leo, you're not bad looking. A lot of omegas find an alpha to get them through their first-year heat cycles. How about this? You stick with me, and I'll make sure no one bullies you again. He was smiling lecherously. My eyes widened in horror, and I kept backing away. I'll report you to the Omega Protection Association. Alpha pheromones are recorded in a DNA database. He knew he couldn't easily mark me, but he was furious at being rejected. Playing hard to get. Huh? There are no cameras here. Get him. They kicked me hard a few times. Just as I was about to lose hope, Jax appeared. All of you, back the hell off. Who do you think you are? Jax, Mr. Ryder. The powerful, terrifying pheromones of an S-class alpha nearly buckled their knees. Jax clenched his fist, grabbed the leader by the collar, and landed a solid punch. He didn't spare the others either. I just lay on the ground, groaning and crying in pain. He made a call to have some people come deal with them. Then he carried me to the town car. That was the first time he'd ever held me. Once we were in the car, I awkwardly pulled away from him. I scraped a cut on my back and hissed in pain. Jax's lips tightened, his jaw tense. What are you running for? If I wasn't worried about Grandpa nagging me, who'd want to carry you? I know, I mumbled quietly. I'm sorry to trouble you. You can just drop me off at the boba shop. You're in this state and you still want boba. Fine, I'll order you some. No, I work there. Jax raised an eyebrow. Can't the Ryders afford to keep you? You have to get a job? I pursed my lips and said nothing. There was no way Jax was taking me there. The car was headed in the opposite direction of the shop. Then could you stop at a pharmacy up ahead? I'll buy some medicine to treat my wounds before I go back. I don't want Grandpa Ryder to find out. You're so considerate. No wonder Grandpa likes you, Jax said sarcastically. But he still went to the pharmacy and bought a big bag of medical supplies along with a new set of clothes. He tossed them at me, annoyed. Hey, can't you use the Ryder name to protect yourself? Don't you think the family sends a driver for you every day for a reason? Can't you figure that out? Idiot. Jax had always hated me, so I never dared to associate myself with his family. I was stunned for a moment. Jax clicked his tongue. God, you're so dumb. He opened the medical supplies. Jax used to get into a lot of fights in high school, so he was a pro at patching people up. After applying ointment to my arms and face, he asked gruffly, "Where else?" "My back. Turn around." I turned and was about to lift my shirt, but I paused. Maybe I should do it myself? Can you even see back there? I had been curled up, covering my head, while they kicked me. My back was covered in footprints. As he lifted my shirt higher and higher, Jax's eyes narrowed. Damn it! He picked up his phone and commanded, beat them harder for me. I could hear their pained grunts and cries through the phone. Jax lowered the privacy partition. Just take the t-shirt all the way off. Jax's touch was surprisingly gentle as he applied the medicine. I bit my lips slightly, my hands gripping the hem of my pants. Suddenly, I felt a cool sensation on my neck as he ripped off my scent patch. My eyes widened. My fragile and private scent gland was exposed. The scent of jasmine began to fill the air. The edge is a little torn. Jax's voice became very soft, unlike his usual gruffness. It was almost gentle. It's okay, just bear with it. The cotton swab dabbed lightly around the edge of the gland. It didn't hurt at all. It was tingly and numb. The gland was so sensitive that a shiver ran through my whole body. Jax looked up. Did I hurt you? I shook my head, a blush creeping up my ears. I had feelings for Jax, and in this small, private space, his act of tending to my wounds felt strangely intimate. My face flushed and my heart pounded. The scent of my pheromones unintentionally grew stronger. The movements on my back paused. Then Jax started applying the medicine much faster. Done. Jax's voice had become a little deep and restrained. He capped the bottle. Do you have any idea what you were just doing? He said, his voice tight. What? I put my shirt back on and turned to see him covering his nose and cracking open a window for air. He started cursing. Did you sleep through your health classes? Don't you know what it means for an omega to release their pheromones in front of an alpha? It means a mating proposal. I hadn't thought of it that way. Embarrassed and ashamed, I shrank into myself. Okay, stop talking. I know what it means. I didn't do it on purpose just now. I'm sorry, but he kept going. Not on purpose. You have no class. That's basically seduction. It's only because it was me, someone who has zero interest in you, that I could control myself. If it had been any other alpha. His expression suddenly changed, and he questioned me fiercely. If it had been any other alpha. My chin trembled. There hasn't been. But you ripped off my scent patch without asking. Isn't that classless, too? Jax clearly hadn't expected me, the usually meek one, to talk back. He was speechless for a moment, then let out a short, wry laugh. He comfortably rested his head on my thigh and sighed. That bastard's bones are tough. My hand is all scraped up. I froze, staring at the large head on my lap. I'll put some medicine on it for you. Jax's lips curved into a roguish grin. You're not totally useless. He called out, Williams will head back after this. Just drive around for a bit. Jax's hand was so large and hot, with a thin layer of rough calluses and prominent blue veins on the back. I carefully lifted one of his hands. He glanced at me from under his lashes, then closed his eyes again without a word. I dipped a cotton swab in medicine. I gently and carefully treated and bandaged his hand. Done. Jax opened his eyes, frowned, and scoffed. It's just a few scrapes. You wrapped it up like it's a broken bone. With that, he started unraveling the bandage. Do it again. So I took his hand once more and applied the medicine. But his hand felt even hotter than before. After I finished, Jax's Adam's apple bobbed. A flush spread from his cheeks down to his neck. What's wrong? Do you have a fever? There's nothing, he said, his voice a little heavy. Just then, we arrived home. He quickly grabbed his phone and got out of the car. I got the top scholarship, my part-time job paid out, and I found another job with better pay. I had some savings and a steady income. I told Grandpa Ryder that I was moving out of the Ryder house. I'll work and pay you back after I graduate. Grandpa Ryder wouldn't have it. What's wrong, Leo? Did Jax bully you again? Didn't I cut off his credit cards last time? You two have a rare 99% compatibility rating. You're a match made in heaven. It's not that. It's just, I don't like Jax. Before I could finish, Jax suddenly appeared. He stared at me, his chest rising and falling, and said with a lazy drawl, a compatibility rating this high is hard to find. We have to get married eventually, so what's the difference who it is? Might as well be you. Grandpa Ryder spoke with authority. Leo, the cost of living with the Ryders is not something you can easily repay. You should know that even a single chef in our household is hired at great expense. One dish they make costs more than you'd earn in a year at your part-time job. Not to mention, we paid for your grandfather's medical bills before he passed. After we got married, I was busy with my studies. Jax joined the family company and was swamped with work, almost never home. Before, he would at least taunt me, calling me stupid or clumsy. There was noise and bickering. But after the wedding, whenever we saw each other, it was just silent, cold expressions. He never held me, let alone touched me. There were a few times he'd hold me for show in front of his grandfather, like he was checking off a box, and even then, I felt a secret happiness. Jax dropped me onto the sofa. He raised his eyebrows, looking down at me from his superior height. Don't even think about divorcing me. Leo, you need to remember your place. You've been depending on the Ryder family for so long. I'm the only one who gets to dump you. You don't get to leave. So, he felt like he was losing face because I was the one who brought up divorce? I didn't have the right to leave. I know. I lowered my head and spoke meekly. The scent of food wafted from the kitchen as the chef prepared dinner. In less than half an hour, several home-style dishes were on the table. Jax unbuttoned his cuffs and casually rolled up his sleeves. He sat across from me, his eyes sharp and contemptuous. Who is this other guy? Anyway, you've only been with him for 3 months and you already look like a ghost. My hand, holding my chopsticks, paused. There's no other guy. Jax narrowed his eyes. After a moment of thought, I decided to use this as a bargaining chip. This baby is yours. Jax, once this baby is born, will my debt to the Ryder family be cleared? Can you let me go then? Please? Jax let out a cold laugh, as if he found it utterly ridiculous. Leo, don't think everyone is as stupid as you are. You don't even have my temporary mark on you. Only a ghost would believe this baby is mine. I pouted. He didn't remember anything about his rut, even though the probability was low, 1 in 10,000. What baby? Are you two fighting again? Grandpa, what are you doing here? Grandpa Ryder was shocked when he saw my stomach. Leo, you're pregnant? Then he turned to Jax. Jax, what did you mean by that just now? A flash of panic crossed Jax's face. Then he scowled in frustration. The baby's mine. I was just angry and talking nonsense. Grandpa Ryder was overjoyed. Excellent. It's been 3 years. I'm finally going to have a great grandchild. Then he scolded Jax. You're an alpha. Can't you be a little more considerate of Leo? You're going to be a father now, so you better get that temper under control. With your compatibility rating, the baby is sure to be an S-class alpha. Carson, prepare a banquet. I want to announce this to the whole city. Wait, Grandpa. Jax glanced at me and said, let's wait until the baby is born. We don't know for sure if it's S-class yet. Let's not make a big deal out of it, just in case it's a false alarm. Who has more experience, you or me? It's definitely S-class. Grandpa gave me a black card, then turned to give orders. Get Dr. Evans over to the house, hire a new batch of maids, and oh, right, arrange for a nutritionist to take care of Leo. After arranging everything, he asked me with concern, Leo, is your room upstairs comfortable? It's a long way to walk up and down. How about you move downstairs? I nodded meekly. I can stay anywhere. After Grandpa Ryder left, Jax's assistant came over and handed him his phone, saying Julian was calling. Jax glanced at me, went to the window to take the call, said a few words, and then rushed out. That evening, I saw Julian's post on his social feed. He was at an art exhibition with Jax. The two of them stood together, their expressions focused, bathed in the warm, yellow light, which made the scene look rather intimate. An old classmate commented, who says alphas and omegas are the only ones made for each other. When an alpha loves a beta who has no pheromones or compatibility rating, that's true love. Julian even liked the comment. Right after, he sent me a taunting message. Leo, if it weren't for the fact that Jax and I don't have a compatibility rating, we would be the perfect, socially matched couple in New York. I heard you're pregnant and Grandpa Ryder is planning a banquet. But are you sure that baby is really Jax's? Once the baby is born and the DNA is tested, everything will be clear. I gripped my phone tightly, taking several deep breaths to stop myself from responding to the malice. The new maids started moving my things from upstairs. They didn't know Jax, and I slept in separate rooms. I stayed in the room next to his. Ma'am, your bedroom with the young master. Why aren't any of your things in here? This looks like it's yours, right? A maid was holding the crystal star projector I had given Jax. I took it, surprised. Wasn't this thing smashed? Jax said he'd thrown it away. When did he glue it back together? It was crooked and lopsided. Where did you find this? In the young master's closet. That night, Jax came back carrying a painting. I have no artistic sense. I don't understand paintings. In the 3 years we'd been married, whenever Julian called, Jax would go out with him to art galleries. I turned away from the window and went to take a shower. Jax framed the painting and hung it in his room. As I showered, I inexplicably felt like crying. I touched my slightly rounded belly. This wave of baseless sadness became overwhelming. I was lost in my emotions, tears streaming down my face, and didn't even hear Jax knocking. Not until he frantically opened the bathroom door. What's wrong with you? He froze for a second, then quickly looked away. Thank goodness the shower was running, and the steam hid the fact that I was crying. But I could smell the worried pheromones he was releasing, and it strangely calmed me. That's when I remembered what Dr. Evans had said. Omegas are more sensitive during pregnancy. Their emotions fluctuate, they become more possessive, and they tend to rely on their alpha. They need the alpha to release soothing pheromones. The baby also needs its father's pheromones to feel secure. Without them in the first few months, fetal nutrient absorption has been a bit slow, which isn't good for development. I got myself together and came out in my bathrobe, my hair still wet. I sneezed. Jax picked up a hairdryer and started drying my hair. What took you so long? I thought you'd fainted in there. The shower was too loud. I didn't hear you calling. Did you need something? Julian heard I found you. He said his birthday party is the day after tomorrow and he wants you to come, too. I don't want to go. And Jax, can you please not see him anymore? I froze after I said it. I don't know why the words just came out. Jax was stunned, too. Why? I couldn't explain it. I just don't want you to go. Jax turned off the hairdryer and stared at me as I sat on the bed. You have to give me a reason. In the past, I would have just felt sorry for myself, thinking I had no right to ask. But thinking of the repaired crystal star projector, I took a breath and asked, why do you go every single time Julian asks you to an art gallery? Jax's gaze shifted slightly, clearly trying to avoid the topic. I pouted. If you don't want to talk about it, fine. Silence fell over the room. What are you so sad about? Jax suddenly asked. Am I sad? I looked up, confused. With our high compatibility, and Alpha could sense it keenly. The pheromones you're releasing are practically dying of sadness. I feel like I'm drowning in tears. And you don't even know it? How are you still so clueless? He sighed, as if exasperated, and sat down. I never wanted to bring any of this up again for the rest of my life. It's kind of a Ryder family secret. Jax's mother was a painter. She met Jax's father at a gallery, and it was love at first sight. But Jax's mother was a low-level Omega, and her compatibility with his father was only 68%. Grandpa Ryder disapproved of them. It was only because Jax was born an S-class alpha that he was accepted back into the family. One day, a car accident killed both of Jax's parents. But Grandpa Ryder never came to respect Jax's mother. He forbade anyone from mentioning her or anything related to her. Jax was just trying to buy back his mother's paintings that had been scattered to the public. Julian just happened to have the right connections. I'm sorry for bringing up something so painful. It's fine. It was a long time ago. I'm finding that talking about it isn't so bad. So it was just to buy your mom's paintings? What else did you think? Everyone at school said you two were perfect for each other, that he was your one great love. Jax laughed as if he'd heard the funniest joke. Julian and I have been best friends since we were kids. What kind of rumors are people spreading? Wait, why do you care so much, anyway? A flicker of hope crossed Jax's eyes. I looked down, just curious. Gossiping is human nature, but knowing the truth made me feel a lot calmer. Okay, so why were you sad? And why are you happy now that you know the truth? Jax stared at me. He could definitely feel the change in my pheromones. I instinctively tried to avoid his gaze. Dr. Evans said omegas are emotionally unstable during pregnancy. This is normal for me. He also said you need to release pheromones to calm me down. Jax snorted and stood up. Leo, have you no shame? You want me to release pheromones to soothe this bastard child? I'm not its father. Why should I? I'm only acknowledging this child in front of Grandpa out of respect for our childhood friendship. And now you're pushing your luck? I'm about to grow green horns from being cheated on. Jax was furious. It really did look like I was being unreasonable. I mumbled, just a little bit, please? Or you could leave your tie. The clothes he was wearing would surely be saturated with his scent. Jax looked at me doubtfully. I grabbed his sleeve and gave it a little tug. Jax's mouth tightened. With a frustrated sigh, he ripped off his tie, threw it at me, and went upstairs. 10 minutes later, I got a text from Julian. Leo, what kind of trick did you pull to make Jax skip my birthday party? He comes to my party every year. Why is he suddenly busy at the company this year? It had to be you. Clutching the tie, I suddenly felt a surge of confidence. I shot back a message, full of righteous anger. Jax is a married man. What right do you have to provoke me? Are you trying to be the other man? You have a crush on Jax. But do you dare admit it? No, you don't, because Jax sees you as a brother. No matter what, I'm his legally wedded husband. Julian was furious, but he had nothing to say to that. I let out a breath, feeling much better. Holding the tie, I slept soundly until morning. Grandpa Ryder's banquet to celebrate his future great-grandchild went on as planned. Nearly everyone from high society was there to congratulate the Ryder family. Naturally, Julian came too. I was sitting on the sofa when he walked over with a glass of wine and sneered in a low voice, "Enjoy it while it lasts." Leo. I didn't understand what he meant and narrowed my eyes in confusion. A little while later, a strange man suddenly appeared in the banquet hall. He started shouting that he was the baby's father. This is a piece of Leo's underwear from when we were together. It still has his scent on it. He was holding a pair of my shorts. My eyes widened. They were indeed my shorts. But I had lost them months ago. The man continued to shout, "If you don't believe me, you can have a doctor test it. Besides, Leo's scent gland doesn't even have Mr. Ryder's mark." Leo, you heartless bastard. You can't just get pregnant with my child for a life of luxury, then kick me to the curb and remove my mark. Do you think everyone is an idiot? My breathing grew heavy, and I clenched my fists. I shot a cold glance at Julian. So this was his plan? Crude. Vicious. A murmur went through the banquet hall. Grandpa, he's lying. I don't even know him. Grandpa Ryder's face was grim. There was an internationally renowned doctor at the party. He had the doctor take me to a private room to check my scent gland, while another doctor examined the shorts. It was over. I gasped and looked desperately at Jax. Jax turned his head slightly, avoiding my gaze. His jaw was tight, his expression distant. My heart sank. When the doctor came out, he just shook his head at Grandpa Ryder. Grandpa Ryder was furious. He slammed his cane on the floor. Before dismissing the guests, he ordered Carson, "Have both of them taken to the Federation Guard for execution." The man gave a theatrical, cold smile. "This is your karma, Leo. This is what you get for abandoning me. I have no regrets dying with you." What kind of deal did he make with Julian to be willing to offend the Ryders? His willingness to die made his story seem all the more credible. No, he's lying. I really don't know him. The baby is Jax's. I got pregnant during his rut, but no one believed me. I was being forcibly dragged away to the Federation Guard. Jax. I shook my head desperately, my eyes filling with tears. Jax remained silent. Just as I was about to be dragged out the door, Jax suddenly said, "Stop." He released a wave of his powerful, commanding pheromones. It was cold and sharp, like an unsheathed blade, carrying an oppressive weight that defied resistance. Grandpa Ryder roared, "Jax, have you lost your mind?" But the oppressive feeling in the hall continued to intensify. The bodyguards holding me could barely stand, their knuckles loosening involuntarily. I easily broke free from their grasp. "Jax!" I ran to him, buried my face in his chest, and wrapped my arms tightly around his waist. Jax, the baby is yours. Wait until he's born and we get a DNA test, then you'll know. You have to believe me. I don't know. I don't know why you don't remember anything about your rut. I broke down, crying with frustration and helplessness as I looked up at him. He looked at me, a little lost, then paused before gently wrapping his arms around me. Grandpa, let Leo stay. A venomous look flashed in Julian's eyes. He knew Jax would protect me. He spoke in a considerate and polite tone. Grandpa Ryder, if I may make a suggestion. Out of respect for the old friendship between the Ryder and Chi families, we can't send Leo to his final resting place so soon. But this illegitimate child cannot be born. It will bring shame to the Ryder family. Why not send Leo to a remote country and then terminate the pregnancy? You shut up. My eyes were red with rage. Julian, you did this, didn't you? It must be you. How else would you know I wasn't marked? What did you do during Jax's rut? You're the one who hired that stranger. Julian feigned innocence. Leo, you can't just throw out accusations without any proof. I was just speaking up for you, and now you're framing me. I gritted my teeth, and with a surge of determination, I looked at the doctor. Doctor, can you perform an amniocentesis to test the DNA? I knew that an amnio was risky for an omega more than 20 weeks pregnant, but I had no other choice. Fortunately, the procedure went smoothly. While we waited for the results, Julian became visibly agitated. Jax held me the entire time. He even released his pheromones to soothe me. Paternity is confirmed. The doctor came out with the test results and showed them to Grandpa Ryder. Grandpa was ecstatic after reading them and then handed the report to Jax. My boy, this old man was wrong about you. I'll give you that piece of land in the western suburbs. If there's anything else you want, just tell your grandpa. I looked at Julian. Grandpa Ryder understood immediately. Carson, inform the Langdon family that if they don't send Julian over to explain himself, all cooperation between our families will be terminated, and the Ryders will pull all funding immediately. Julian was so scared he almost fell to his knees. Grandpa Ryder, no, please listen to me. He was dragged away by bodyguards before he could finish. Jax stared at the report, his eyes wide. Then, overjoyed, he lifted me up. He was about to spin me around when Grandpa Ryder stopped him. Don't move her. You reckless boy. What's gotten into you? Jax put me down, his voice filled with remorse and guilt. I'm so sorry, Leo. I shouldn't have forgotten everything. I should have trusted you. He turned and ordered angrily, find out what the hell happened. I almost lost my husband. On the way home, in the back of the town car, Jax held me in his lap. He buried his head in my shoulder and asked in a hoarse voice, why did you help me through my rut? That was 3 days. You didn't have to stay. I pursed my lips. The lamp I gave you, you said you smashed it and threw it away, didn't you? I broke it by accident. He lifted his face. You saw it? You did a terrible job gluing it back together. Jax smiled a little. Yeah, well, forgive a guy who's all thumbs. I'll try to fix it up again later. He buried his face in my shoulder again, taking a contented breath. You used to say you didn't like me, and I pretended not to like the gifts you gave me. The truth is, I loved them. I loved everything you gave me. I love you, Leo. His voice became husky and tender. I huffed and pushed his big head away. I don't believe you. You said, in the Ryder family, even if we raise a dog, only its master gets to discipline it. The same goes for people. I heard what you and Julian said. You don't like me at all. You're just acting this way because of the baby, right? No. Jax rushed to explain. That was back in school. I had a reputation to keep up. I hated the arranged marriage, so I'd tell my friends I didn't like you. I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so stubborn. He lightly slapped his own mouth. If you're angry, you can hit me. He took my hand and pressed it to his cheek. I tried to pull away, but he held it tightly against his chest, where his heart was pounding fiercely. What about you? You still haven't answered my question. Why did you stay with me during my rut? Jax looked at me intently. I feel the same way you do. Jax smiled, cupped my face, and kissed me. Then the kiss deepened. He whispered between kisses, my love, I'm so happy. The kiss left me breathless. I leaned against him, gasping for air as tears of emotion welled in my eyes. You need to stop releasing your pheromones. It's suffocating. Is it too much? I got excited and lost control. He gently reined them in. His large, warm hand gently covered my stomach, stroking it in slow circles. You need to grow up big and strong. Mommy and Daddy are so excited to meet you. Suddenly, a look of fear crossed his face. He bent down and kissed my belly. He almost didn't make it. I'm so sorry, my love. His voice cracked with emotion. After that, he made a habit of kissing my belly and talking to our little baby every day. Under the Federation guard's harsh interrogation, Julian confessed everything. During an alpha's rut, they have an intense desire to mark someone, but he and Jax had no compatibility. He couldn't have relieved Jax's rut. So, he put a drug in Jax's drink that would prevent him from marking anyone. By accident, I was the one who ended up with Jax. Harboring resentment, Julian spent a fortune on an illegal drug, a rut disorientation agent. An alpha's consciousness is already hazy during a rut, and this drug would make them forget most of what happened. The rumors at school about Jax hating me were also started by Julian, who paid people to spread them. On the Ryder family's orders, the Federation guard executed Julian. You can't. I took a step back and pulled my shirt down, covering the trail of hickeys he'd left on my stomach over the past few days. Not during pregnancy. I pouted shyly. Dr. Evans said, "It's fine. Months 4 to 6 are okay." The alpha drew out his words. My love, I haven't even marked you yet. Have I? I'll be very gentle, trust me. The alpha wrapped his arms around me, whispering in my ear. You have no idea how much it drives me crazy. You walking around smelling so good every day. Actually, I couldn't resist you back in college when I was patching you up. I was surprised. But you said back then you had absolutely no interest in me. Well, you acted like you hated me back then, too. You wouldn't even let me hold you. That's because you acted like you hated me first. I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so stubborn at the beginning. My love, I really, really love you. The sweet scent of his pheromones was intoxicating, and I gradually let my guard down. Our son is in preschool now. He looks like a miniature version of Jax. He even walks around talking a big game, playing rough with the other kids. Whenever he does, Jax disciplines him. You little brat, how old are you? Stop learning bad habits. What? Mommy, Jax doesn't hit him hard. It's all bark and no bite. He runs into my arms, looking for comfort. Let me see where Daddy got you. My butt, he'd whimper. I gently rub it for him. It's okay. From now on, just learn from Mommy. A moment later, Jax's phone would buzz with a message from my phone. It would be our son's soft, sweet voice. Jax, can you buy me 10 lollipops on your way home from work? Eat my foot. Your teeth are already rotting. Give the phone to your mom. Our little boy would then hand the phone back to me with a pout. I'd smile and stroke his head. You really can't have any more, sweetie. You have to listen to the dentist. Mommy will make you some corn later. It's just as sweet and yummy. Yay, corn. I love corn, he'd say, happily going back to his blocks. Hello, Jax. Honey, do you want me to get you anything?